Next, Policy Brief, a presentation of the policies of the United States government.
Late last month, in the forests of Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, a 23-year-old man approached a United Nations peacekeeping patrol on operations near the Garamba National Park. Armed with an old rifle and just 7 bullets, Opano Opondo was fleeing the Lord's Resistance Army, a ruthless rebel group that had abducted him from his family in Uganda at the age of 8 and forced him to fight with them from that time on. He had been emboldened to flee by a flyer he was carrying, distributed in the area by Invisible Children, a non-governmental organization working to raise awareness of the LRA and to end its abductions and depredations. The flyer provided information on how to leave the group safely and gave instructions on where to go for protection and support. Opano told UN advisors that many of his fellow fighters also want to flee, but they fear the consequences if they are caught. Once a large movement of more than 10,000 fighters, the LRA is now believed to number only about 250. Led by men including Joseph Kony, wanted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes and atrocities, the remaining rebels are scattered throughout Central Africa in small groups that have little or no contact with the outside world. A relative handful of poorly equipped raiders looting small villages and farms to survive. In partnership with NGOs like Invisible Children, the African Union Regional Task Force, Uganda People's Defense Force, and regional UN missions, United States military advisors continue to work on programs that encourage LRA fighters to defect. Flyers are dropped into the forests from aircraft, and messages are broadcast over FM and shortwave radio, and even by loudspeaker from helicopters. During an online discussion, U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes Issues, Stephen Rapp, said efforts to encourage defections are critically important in the fight against the LRA.
Material leaflets are distributed and people are encouraged to come to safe places where they can defect, and the message is clear that for those lower and mid-level people there's not going to be any risk of prosecution.
This humanitarian approach to removing the LRA threat preserves the lives of those who may have been abducted as children and forcefully inducted into the group. These efforts have contributed to the return and repatriation of over 100 LRA leaders, fighters, and dependents over the past year. Lisa Dugan of Invisible Children applauded the comprehensive strategy of the United States and its partners.
All those things together could mean that an end to LRA violence is very near. Bringing Joseph Kony to justice is very near, and that could be a victory first for communities on the ground, but also for the United States and for international justice as a whole.
That was Policy Brief, a presentation of the policies of the United States government.